turn on the lights in the bedroom.
Siri always takes forever. I'm so ready to eat this. I'm so hungry. Yeah, 90 seconds probably good. Oh yeah, hell yeah, that hits.
Imagine him in his underwear. Oh no, he's hot!
Fucking SpongeBob. Time to get dressed. And we out. Oh, we about to jam. Died? Really? Now I gotta walk and listen to the public? Did I lock the door? I can't believe Elon's destroying Twitter. Dude, that new Drake album is so fire though. Career is 21. So can you do something? I wonder what I should be. Damn, I gotta clean my apartment. I'm so not ready for winter. How did my AirPods manage to die already? Don't they have like 10 hours of battery life? I could really go for a big juicy steak. Oh my god, like a big twice. Maybe some like FKJ. I need to really take a deep breath. What up everybody, and welcome to a little different of a video. I hope you guys like the intro. I'm gonna go ahead and move from this spot because it's a little too bright right now, but come with me. Okay, so now let's have a conversation. So as you guys can see from the intro sequence here, I want to talk about meditation, I want to talk about mindfulness, and I want to talk about how specifically those things are so important with creativity. I started getting back into my mindfulness practice. I started noticing immediately that I was having a much better sense of where I was at, like mentally. And so to be able to have that mindfulness and have that awareness of how I was feeling at the time, rather than just burying it in my phone or in TikTok or in a number of other things, you know, because we're always trying to distract ourselves, right? We're always using all of these different pieces of technology, and it's not a technology bad video because technology is great. It allows me to make this kind of stuff, but technology can be distracting, and when we use it at the level that we tend to, it's kind of addictive, right? It's almost it really is an addiction, especially social media specifically. One of the things that I found to be really important for me is to make sure that I have a mindfulness practice of some kind throughout the day. And as long as I am able to bring conscious awareness to when I get sucked into my phone or when I realize I've been scrolling for too long, it's really important to make sure that I keep that in line. And a good way to measure it if you have an iPhone is actually screen time. Screen time will literally tell you exactly how much time you are spending and in what apps. So that information is useful. It's not necessarily always enough to get you to stop doing whatever you're doing or whatever habits you have, but it is still a useful piece of information that can really help you to change your habits. And so it's really important when you're trying to break something like a social media addiction to make sure that you swap it with something else. You know, I'm not an expert, but I can tell you from experience, at least of me quitting smoking weed, that what helped me was that I swapped it for exercise. So it's like if you're gonna have something that occupies a huge part of your time, and that, you know, being on our phones always does, then you need to find a way to replace that and to fill it with something so that, in this case, I think mindfulness is the better thing to fill it with, but to fill it with the absence, because otherwise you're likely to just revert back to whatever you've already been doing. So I found that for me, bringing my mindfulness practice back has made me more conscious. I'm still on social media way too much. Like I still need to get better at doing it, but I've at least been more conscious and more aware of the ways in which it's affecting my mind and my headspace. And because I'm now more present and I'm more mindful of my emotions overall, and I'm more in tune with my feelings, it's easier to identify that the more time that I'm spending on social media, the worse my mood gets. And when I'm able to correlate that behavior, it's a lot easier to change it and stop it. Editing Kevin here, just wanted to come in. I was going through and I was editing. And, sometimes when you talk in public, you can lose your train of thought because people are distracting. People walk by, they stare at you, it makes you feel uncomfortable. And I realized I never connected the rest of the ideas to the creativity part. I talked about mindfulness and meditation, but I didn't tie it back to how that expands your creativity. So what I wanted to do in this last part here, which I guess is here back in the comfortable studio, when you get that time to yourself, that time in silence, that's the time when you most are able to be creative. That's where you let your mind wander. If you just mindlessly are just following every thought that comes in your head, that's not what I'm talking about. Part of the mindfulness and part of the getting away from your phone and social media and podcasts and YouTube and movies and all that stuff, right? To just take a break from that, at least at some point in the day, every day, make that time to then also be creative, to be mindful, to really take in creative energy and allow it to expand itself into whatever ideas you're coming up with. I've noticed that the more time that I've given to myself to actually be in silence and be forced to sit with me, not only has it allowed me to get more comfortable to sit with myself and to be alone with my own thoughts, but it's also then allowed me to use that time to think of new ideas, think of new videos, think of different ways of seeing the world, looking at a situation that I might have gone through a different perspective. And it's because I've given myself that time to let something sink in and not just constantly feeding it some form of information or some form of distraction. It's allowed me to really, I think, expand what I'm capable of, as well as get more in tune with who I am. So yeah, just wanted to make sure I popped in and, tied it all into the larger thing that I mentioned at the very beginning, but then never quite found my way back to when I was out in public. I appreciate you guys for checking out this video. I really wanted to do something different this time, and so that's why I started out with kind of the short film. But let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know if you guys like this format, if you want me to do more of these kinds of things, or do something similar. I know I personally want to do a lot of stuff that actually involves other people as well. I don't want to be the subject of every video here. So if anybody's interested in me doing a piece on them, especially if you have an interesting story to tell or something to do, then I would love to do that. So anyway, be sure to like, hit subscribe, all that other social media bullshit, and yeah, peace out.